everybody, I hope you are keeping safe and well and enjoying the lovely sunshine. I thought I'd share a story with you today, and this one's called The Foxwood Treasure. The thick red jam bubbling in the old black pot had made the kitchen very hot and steamy. Mrs. Hedgehog turned to her son, Willie, who was sitting at the kitchen table staring at nothing in particular. "What's the matter with you?" she asked irritably. "I'm bored," he said. "There's never anything to do here." "Never anything to do," she said indignantly. "I've got 1,000,001 things to do, so you can help me out." Willie groaned. "That's not what I meant," he said. Mrs. Hedgehog took no notice. "You could take this basket of fruit and pickles and go visit Grandpa," she went on. "That will keep you out of mischief and out of my way. Mind how you go and give him my love." Off Willie trotted with the basket. He hadn't got very far when he met Harvey Mouse and Roo Rabbit. "I've got to take these things to Grandpa's," he told them, "so I can't play." "We've got nothing to do," said Roo. "Can we come with you?" "If you take turns to carry the basket," answered Willie. "It's heavy and I need a rest." They found Grandpa busy painting his old bicycle. Mum sent over some pickles, Grandpa," shouted Willie. "Oh, just the job, young Willie," replied Grandpa. Harvey and Roo were looking at the bicycle. "Can we help you paint?" asked Harvey. "No thanks," said Grandpa. "I've finished it. I'm going to a meeting at Mrs. Mole's house now. Would you like to come along?" A meeting didn't sound very interesting, but as there was nothing else to do, they decided to go with him. A big crowd squeezed into Mrs. Mole's front room for the meeting. "What's it about, Grandpa?" whispered Willie. "We need a village hall," he answered. "But funds are so low. We want everyone to think of a way to make money." "Silence, please," shouted Mr. Gruffy, the badger, banging a wooden mallet on Mrs. Mole's best polished table. "Oh dear," she murmured. "The sooner we get a village hall, the better." The meeting went on a long time, and Harvey, Roo and Willie were wishing they hadn't come by the time it had ended. But they did like the idea of raising money, and afterwards Willie asked his grandfather what they could do to help. "Why don't we go along to the library," said Grandpa thoughtfully, "and find out how the famous animals of Foxwood made money in the past? There are a couple of old books I'd like you to read. They might give you some ideas." "Old books," said Willie in disgust. "You can't raise money by reading old books. We want to do something." Grandpa didn't seem to hear Willie's grumble. He just gave him the names of 2 books and told him to ask Mrs. Squirrel for them. Then he went off to arrange the next meeting with Mr. Badger and Mrs. Mole, while the 3 friends settled themselves in a quiet corner of the library. After a while, Mrs. Squirrel appeared with 2 large books, which she placed on the table in front of them. Roo took one and opened it. "What have you got?" asked Willie, peering over Roo's shoulder. "History," said Roo. "It's all about the famous animals who used to live in the village. Captain Weasel, Lord and Lady Moleworthy. They were very rich and lived in a mansion called Foxwood Park." "Oh, here's a bit about Squire Fox." "I know all about him," interrupted Willie. "Grandpa told me. That's his statue in the village square." "Everyone knows that, clever clog," said Roo. "What else do you know?" "That's it, really," said Willie, feeling rather squashed. He wished he'd listened more carefully when Grandpa was telling him about Foxwood in the old days. "It says here," said Roo, "that he was a jolly chap and everyone liked him. He owned a magnificent den hidden somewhere near Foxwood, and he used to invite his friends there for an evening's merrymaking. But he would always meet them at the edge of the wood and blindfold them before leading them to his den." "Why didn't he trust them?" interrupted Harvey. "It doesn't say," went on Roo. But apparently one dreadful night he was followed home by a gang of thieves. There was a terrific fight, and he was robbed of almost everything. He left his ruined den and built an inn called the Old Fox, where he served a special lemonade made from his own secret recipe. When he died, the inn was shut up, and the recipe has never been found. That's right, interrupted Willie. Grandpa told me where the inn was. If he hid the secret recipe in the inn, and if we could find it, we could make a fortune, said Harvey. Your grandpa was right, said Roo. The old books have given us an idea. Let's start looking first thing tomorrow morning, said Willie. The next morning they met at Squire Fox's statue and headed into the woods. After searching for nearly an hour, they found an overgrown path and followed it, pushing through the brambles, grasses and bracken, till suddenly they found themselves standing in front of a crumbling old house, with an inn sign swinging crookedly from a pole above the door. This is it, shouted Roo. We found it. Give the door a good push. They did, and it slowly creaked open. Dust and cobwebs covered everything inside, and at the far end of the room stood a bar. Willie ran behind it and pulled a pump handle. What it'll be, gentlemen? He asked. 2 glasses of lemonade special, please, replied Harvey. That'll be 25p, said Willie, pretending to ring up the till. I'll be Squire Fox, said Roo. Would you gentlemen like rooms for the night? You would? Then come this way and mind your heads. He led the way to the stairs, followed by Harvey. Willie stayed where he was, for the stairs looked rotten and they were dark. I think I'll wait for you down here, he said. As soon as the others had disappeared, Willie wished he had gone with them. The bar was eerie, and he jumped when a board creaked. Who's there? He called. Only me, squeaked a little voice. And to Willie's surprise, out popped a mouse from behind the grandfather clock in the corner. I'm Barty, he said cheerfully. I live here and keep the place clean. Who are you? I'm Willie, and I've come to look for the Squire Fox's secret recipe. I can show you lots of secret places, said Barty, but I'm blessed if I know what a recipe is. Willie wasn't too sure what a recipe would look like either. I think it would be hidden in a secret place, he said hopefully. Come on then, said Barty, joining Willie behind the bar. He pulled a pump handle marked special. Suddenly, a tiny door opened in the biggest barrel. Squeeze in, said Barty. It's quite safe. Willie stepped inside and the door slammed shut behind them. Harvey and Roo were noising about upstairs when they heard a door slam. I think we'd better see if Willie's all right, said Harvey. They ran down the stairs. Willie! Called Roo as they reached the bar. No reply. Come on, we've got something to show you, he coaxed, thinking Willie was probably hiding for a joke. Still no reply. Where on earth have you got to? Asked Harvey. We've only been gone a few minutes. I bet he's gone home, said Roo. That door banging probably frightened him. If he has, he can stay there tomorrow, said Harvey crossly. Anyway, it's late, so we'd better go. We'll speak to Willie in the morning. The next morning, Harvey and Roo knocked loudly on Mrs. Hedgehog's door. Where's Willie? Roo asked her. We've got a bone to pick with him. Not here, you haven't, replied Willie's mother. Because he didn't come home last night. He told me he would stay with his grandfather, and that's where you'll find him now. Roo and Harvey were becoming more and more cross with Willie for wasting time, and when they reached Grandpa's cottage, they knocked even louder on the door. Go away, groaned Grandpa. It's too early to wake people. Tell Willie we want him, said Grandpa. Then we'll go away. I can't do that, said Grandpa firmly, because he's not here, and he slammed the door. Not here and not at home, said Harvey in dismay. Then, oh no, the old inn. He must still be there. Quick. They ran all the way back to the inn and searched it from top to bottom. There was no sign of Willie. "If he doesn't show up soon," said Harvey, as they walked back to the village, "we'll have to tell his mother." There was a bench at the foot of the Squire Fox's statue, and Harvey and Roo sat down on it, too tired and worried to talk about what to do next. Suddenly the statue spoke. "Is there anyone there?" it asked. Harvey and Roo leapt up, terrified. Strange scratching noises came from inside the statue. "It's haunted!" cried Harvey. "No, it's not," said the statue. "It's me. I can't get out." "That's Willie's voice," shouted Roo happily. "He's in the statue." Then, to their amazement, they heard another voice. "There's a door here," it said. "If we push, can you pull?" Harvey and Roo prodded frantically around the base of the statue. Suddenly, Roo felt a movement. "Got it," he said. "Push as hard as you can." A stone panel opened an inch. Harvey grabbed the edge. Roo grabbed Harvey, and together they tugged. The stone flew open and Willie tumbled out onto the ground, followed by Barty. "Where on earth have you been?" asked Harvey. "We were just going to organise a search party." "And who's that?" "It's Barty," answered Willie. "And we've found Squire Fox's den. Come on, we'll show you." As Harvey and Roo crawled along the narrow passage, they thought Willie must be braver than he seemed, for it was cold and damp and very dark. Suddenly, however, the passage opened out into a beautiful, high-ceilinged hall. They stared in wonder. At last Roo spoke. "To think that it's been here in the village all this time," he said, "and no one knew. Cunning old fox." "Fox Hall." "Fox Hall," echoed Harvey. "The hall! That's it! The village hall! Willie, you and Barty have found the new village hall." "That's not all we've found," said Willie. "Look at this. It's the secret lemonade recipe. Barty lined a secret drawer in this old chest with it. He didn't know it was valuable." "Hooray!" said Harvey. "Now you've found the recipe, we can make the lemonade again. We'll make it famous, and we'll be famous too." "Not just us," said Willie thoughtfully. "It was Grandpa who gave us the book about Squire Fox." The whole village celebrated the news that Willie and his new friend Barty had found Fox Hall. And at the last meeting at Mrs. Mole's house, they decided to reopen the old Fox Inn with a grand party. Grandpa made a barrel of special lemonade, and animals came from afar and wide just to taste the delicious brew. The party was a huge success and raised more than enough money to build a new entrance to Fox Hall. Grandpa enjoyed the gala opening of the old Fox Inn so much that he stayed on and became the best landlord the village had seen since Squire Fox himself. Willie and Barty were given the honour of cutting the ribbon at the opening of the new village hall, and Barty stayed on as caretaker. Harvey and Roo weren't forgotten either, for together with Willie and Barty they got the best reward of all, as much lemonade as they could wish for, free forever. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I'll see you very soon.